Maturing is realizing that not every man is meant to be your man, and not every man is meant to be for financial or personal gain.
That the attractive men in their 20s didn't want to settle down, that left us with ugly dudes with kids.
But it's like you're telling me stuff that I already know, so I'm letting you land.
No, but you use your 20s and you end up in your 30s and you do not have a man. You've had from at least 17, 18, you've had about 12 years for you to lock it down.
The nice guys is too soft. You think the nice guys ain't fun.
Wrong of him to not disclose what he actually does for a living. The fact that he owns businesses, he shouldn't be hiding that. He shouldn't be saying he's a truck driver when he's not.
Creep behind you is staring. Uncomfortable.
Is extremely handsome. He is in his 40s, but I didn't like his occupation. He had truck driver as his occupation, but I decided to swipe right anyway. And it turns out that we were a match, so he must have swiped right on me as well. We started to talk, and conversation with him was amazing. He was incredibly funny. I also liked that his mother was living with him and that he was taking care of her in her old age. It just showed me that he's a good man and a good son. I'm a registered nurse and I make a good amount of money. After a month of talking, he asked me a question and asked that I don't get offended. I said I wouldn't. He said as a truck driver, he doesn't make much money. And is that going to be a problem for me? When I heard that he doesn't make much money, I was very turned off. I'm not going to lie. As handsome and as amazing he is, it bothers me that he doesn't make much money. So I talked to him for another month and finally decided, you know what? I can't do this. I cannot be with a man who makes less than me. So I told him I don't think this is going to work. And he said, everything's been going so well, how come? I told him I think it's best I don't disclose why, but I wish him the best. He said, no, tell me why. So I told him, I don't want to be with a man that makes less than me. He went completely silent. He didn't have anything to say back to me. I felt really bad, but I decided I needed to move on. I missed him very much, I'm not going to lie, because he has such a great personality. 2 weeks later, he messages me and said he wants to show me something. I said, okay. What is it? Because I was very curious. He told me to get on a video call with him, and so I did. When we get on the video call, he's wearing a suit and he looks very professional. And he's in this beautiful, beautiful studio. And I'm like, what is this? He said this is one of his businesses and that he has 3 businesses. He's actually well off and wanted to make sure that the woman he's marrying is not going to marry him for his money.
Because men are hunters and the car is the bait. Woman comes and says, ooh, nice Porsche. Gotcha, bitch.
He's had women talk to him in the past because of his finances, so now he doesn't disclose what he actually does. He just tells women that he's a truck driver. A woman who's willing to accept that is a woman he feels he can trust. He told me that I made a huge mistake letting him go. I quickly came to regret it. I told him I'm so sorry. He said it's okay, that he just wanted to let me know. Now I can't get him out of my head. I think about him constantly.
Bet you can.
I feel like he could have been the one. But I do think it was wrong of him to not disclose what he actually does for a living. The fact that he owns businesses. He shouldn't be hiding that. He shouldn't be saying he's a truck driver when he's not. I understand he doesn't want a woman to marry him for his money. But why is he lying about his occupation? I'm trying so hard to get over him, but it's been pretty tough. What do you guys think I should do? Should I ask him for a second chance?
No. You should go on about your day and be the modern woman you are. And yes, they are in the Muslim community as well. You can find Muslim brothers talking the same talk we talk. You can find every culture probably talking the same talk we talk. It's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. Not with everybody. I could say it's better in other countries, nothing like the West, but they're doing it. Why? Because it's a problem. It's a worldwide issue. No, he shouldn't give you another chance. That man did the right thing. If I was well off when I first got with my lady, actually, she wouldn't have cared anyway. Right? I told you guys, if you didn't know my story, when I first got with my lady, we were working together and doing things together. We started a business together. She was ready to grind with me. Right? So that I would have got rejected by this girl as well. And look what I turned out to be. I turned out to be a man that has this stuff together now. Because who gave me a chance? My wife. That's why I married her. See, guy, that's what guys are looking for. That's why guys are going across these waters. But let's continue.
Of your life with a person that you had to teach basic human decency to? Did you really want to wake up every single day like with anxiety and like you don't know whether you're coming or going, like your mind and your brain, your heart, your body, your spirit is all in disarray? Did you want to spend the rest of your life worried about who this person is talking to or texting or feeling like you absolutely last in their life? Did you want to have to keep repeating yourself over and over and over about things that you should only have to have said one time, like set a boundary and that person respect it, but like did you want to continue to keep explaining the same boundaries like year after year? Did you want to keep feeling like a stranger off the street is more important in your relationship than you are in your own relationship? Did you want to keep being treated below the bare minimum? Let's just say that the bar is up here, right? Let's just say the bare minimum bar is right there, okay? You were getting treated all the way down here. Did you want to keep getting treated like that? Did you want to have to continue to write books on how to love you, to give them to this person just for them to say, I'm not reading that? This is a good one. Did you want to have to continue to beg and plead and cry on your knees for this person to stop cheating on you? Did you want that for the rest of your life? Did you want to keep begging for crumbs of love that your family and friends over?
I gotta pause this, right? Because it seems like she's making stuff up as she goes along. You see her thinking, let me think of something else to say. Let me make these men look more like trash, right? That could be happening to some people, but is it happening to the most? Right? Because they're getting with the guy that's no good and they're overlooking the best option. You just saw that with the Muslim lady. This happens in every community. I'm happy she did that video because I can show it. There are tons of black females that do it, tons of white females that do it, Spanish, I can keep going and going, African, everything. It's a problem. It's a cancer. Women want a man that makes more. But for a man to know he can trust you, why would a man say, I got 4 businesses, I make all the money in the world, I can take you out to $1,000 dinner every night? How is that girl going to be? I'm entitled. Oh, can you buy me that new Chanel? Can you buy me that Gucci? The man doesn't succeed or keep succeeding by blowing his cash. So if the man is with you, as she explained, right, and giving a female the bare minimum, girls outside of these borders are fine with the bare minimum because I'm receiving the bare minimum. That's why we're able to travel around and live like we live. Preach somebody, talk to her, somebody. No clue, lost. And what's happening is the men women overlooked are now going overseas. So it's definitely too late now. And a lot of these men are never coming back. They will never ever reposition themselves to go back there and do that. That's why you got girls making videos in Bali, you right, about men not talking to them overseas. There's a reason.
Guy to ever treat me right, you have a 90% chance of being dumped or cheated on or done dirty in general in 2 to 4 months. There are 3 common reasons for this, and they all really come down to one thing, so make sure you watch to the end where I explain that. My name is Dr. Lily. I help you heal from breakups and toxic relationships based off of neuroscience and psychology. Number 1 is that her self-worth is so low that she actually doesn't believe that she deserves you, so she will leave you because you're treating her too well. If she has
So
this
true.
pattern of dating men who treat her poorly, that means her consciousness is at the level of men who will treat her badly. And when you treat her the best that she's ever been treated, it's uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar for her. Her nervous system and her subconscious is wired to be treated badly because that's all she has known. This is a reflection of her limited consciousness, not of you. She might be a beautiful woman, a baddie, you might say, but if she doesn't believe that she deserves to be treated well, she will always self-sabotage and go for something or someone who treats her far less than she deserves. Number two, she might actually like and enjoy the toxicity of being with a man who doesn't treat her well. She gets excited by the highs, the lows, the good, the bad. Part of her loves that this man is inconsistent and speaks down to her. The only reason that anybody stays in a toxic relationship is because some part of them gets something from it. So some part of her gets validated by not being fully chosen by a man. Now, men, this does not mean that you should be toxic. It does not mean to go against your nature, to treat women well, and to be consistent. It's simply a reflection of this woman and where she's at. And if you're looking for something serious and real and long term, you can't trust a woman who is chasing toxicity, the highs and the lows, because that kind of woman will never be satisfied. And as soon as you get comfortable, she's looking for the next exciting
Sure
thing,
is.
which means.
And the wild thing is everything she's explaining, because she's a doctor. Every man knows this. That's why every man watches the manosphere. Seriously. And then they go, what's my best option? Men overlooked, the men women overlooked are now the best option. Or if they're not the best option yet, they're seeking the best option. And that's why I teach what I teach. Dead serious. I had a guy contact me today. He was shocked. He booked my consultation on how to work online, right? He learned how to make thousands, hundreds of thousands within 10 minutes. Like he saw exactly what to do. 10 minutes. I went on for about an hour or 2 hours because I like to extend my meetings, especially if I see someone as hungry like I am, right? And if I don't have any other meetings, I extend them. So I gave him everything. I'm talking about I started going into how to get the most off your taxes, pay less taxes. Also, the proper way to set up your business so you pay less taxes. Guys are learning. And what's happening is men are starting to become the best option without college. And you know what those men are thinking? When they get fly, because imagine this. This is what we're doing, right? The man not even get fly. When the man builds himself up, and then say if he's still in the West, and the females start checking for him, guess what he's thinking? Sayonara. He's going overseas and saying, I want nothing to do with you. It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
It was so crazy. A lot of women say, I cannot find the right guy. You too busy trying to make it work with the guy that don't even know your value. That's your problem. You know what I'm saying? You start to overlook the good guys. The guys that want to open up the door for you. The guys that want to take you out. The guy that want to buy you flowers just because. The guy that want to cook you dinner just because. You know what I'm saying? That's your problem. You think the nice guys is too soft. You think the nice guys ain't fun. He's too sweet. He's too nice. Man, you need to get you a guy that's gonna pray for you. You know what I'm saying? You need to get you a guy that don't mind opening up your door even after an argument. That don't mind paying for your dinner even though he don't like you in that moment. That don't mind rubbing your feet even though you just made him mad or y'all just got into an argument. But you wondering why you have a headache. You wonder why am I stressing over him? How come I can never find a good guy? How come I can never be in a good relationship? You don't even give the good guy a chance. That's your problem, bro. Him writing you a love letter is not corny. A man should be treating you with the most up respect. A man should be making you feel like a little girl at heart. That's what a man should be doing. If he ain't doing that and you feel like you gotta be hard around him, he ain't the right one.
You know what he's saying? Not every man is like that. I feel like he's just making a video to make it like, oh yeah, I'm the nice guy that does all that. Men don't do that half the time, right? What men do, because men will be married to you and still be a man's man. Well, you'll say, oh, I'm worried about this, and you'll be complaining, and you'll feel like he's making it seem like, like you're nothing or belittling you. That's because he's a man's man. This happens all the time, and then they go complaining to him, and he sees it like it's not an issue because he's a man's man, and then they divorce him. This is what men are tired of, and he's like, "What did I do wrong?" We're gonna get into that later, but watch this.
Okay, but initially you're given. So this is what women do, right? You spend your 20s to the point when you're in your 30s chasing the wrong types of men. Then once you get to your 30s, you realize actually I shouldn't be doing this, right? And you've been chasing after Chad and Tyrone, and then your options start to diminish. And at 30, you're like, okay, what the hell have I done? But in reality, there would be men, you're a pretty woman, there'd be men that would have taken you up, that would have happily done this, but you aired them, you literally did not see them. And the reason why you did not...
I was loyal to crap, yeah.
No, but
the whole
That's very generalised, though, isn't it? It's what women do.
No, but it's like you're telling me stuff that I already know, so I'm letting you land.
No, but she's agreeing. So basically, the reason why I'm saying this is because we've done this show. We speak to women. Like, if you use your 20s and you end up in your 30s and you do not have a man, you've had from at least 17, 18, you've had about 12 years for you to lock it down. If you didn't, it's not because you didn't meet any good men. It's because you literally outweighed your options, and now you end up at 30 years old, and now you're competing.
Yeah, happens to everyone. And some ladies like to think they're bigger than the program. They do, right? They go, oh, no, everything is all hunky-dory. I'm not seeing the guys I want. And you know what's wild? Guys know what I'm talking about. Because the guys I speak to are becoming that, right? But they don't get paid attention to. But then you get females talking like this.
I'm from bad decision making, stupid. It came from me never finding the man that I wanted to be with. I don't know in what delusional world y'all men live in where you think that it was all of these wonderful, great men running around when we was in our 20s, and we just passed up on all of these great guys. The attraction when we were in our 20s were doing what attractive men is. Be players, talk to a whole bunch of different women, and never want to settle down. And that the attractive men in their 20s didn't want to settle down, that left us with ugly dudes with kids, and dudes who didn't have their stuff together. Same thing now that I'm older. The options didn't go from good to bad. It went from bad to worse. And if you think some of them was unattractive back then, add on now the fact that some of them is out of shape, they ain't got no hairline and teeth. They wasn't financially stable in their 20s, and a lot of them still ain't financially stable. Some of them still paying child support for babies that they was having when they was in their 20s. A lot of the men in their 20s who was doing all that settling down and getting married were undesirable men. Men verge of losing their hairlines. Men who didn't have no bunch of options of women to choose from in the first place. That's the reason why it was so easy for them to settle down.
You know, and Dana's a cool person. You can tell she has a level head. But I gotta be real. I gotta call it like it is, right? Because when you were in your 20s, like, you lost a lot of weight now, but you weren't the one that guys really would want to be with yourself. Let's be real, right? You're a little chubby. Now you look good now, but you have to understand your options when you were younger, and your options now are more. And you have been cursed with that, right? I'm being real. This is what's going on. Because I know what I see. I've seen it for a while, right? And I'm smart. Like, I can understand what your options was and what they are now. Your options increased, but your value increased of what you want, and it's definitely too late for you. Seriously. You're at the land of the lost now. Because you should have been in shape then. I'm just keeping it. I'm just telling you what I see. No harsh feelings.
Shame me for only wanting a horseback ride. Maturing is realizing that not every man is meant to be your man, and not every man is meant to be for financial or personal gain. Sometimes you really just want a horseback ride. Clownery is expecting a relationship out of a man that all you can get is a horseback ride. Clownery is having absolutely nothing, and that's the only thing you can get is that horseback ride. There are some women out here, especially like myself, we already got good credit, crib fully furnished, car good, everything is good. Baby, that's all I want. And at that point, when do we stop shaming people for being grown? The only thing that I expect from a single man is to tell me the truth, that you're really single. Other than that, we cool. Y'all gotta understand that if you're emotionally mature, then you gonna know, like, I'm just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I have no expectations from you. I just really expect for you to pull up and give me that. That's it. Hashtag. You'll never make me feel bad because that's all I wanted.
Yeah, see, this is the issue. Men know this. Like, men know this. You know what's wild is that men want relationships more than females. They actually started the revolution. You know, when dating apps got popular, you ladies started it by chasing all that. You guys, you ladies, you actually did your sexual revolution that was back in the 70s and the later years, in the 2000s with dating apps. That's why all of you choose the guy that's the Chad, the Tyrone. Because you're like, okay, I'm going to have a good time, not for a long time. And that's what's happening. That's what we got going on now. That's why most men are like, I'm throwing my hands up with it. I spoke to a brother today. He said, yeah, man, it's crazy out here. I'm a young guy, but you can't deal with these females. Almost every guy I speak to, you can't deal with these females. The West is crazy. Prices are high. Inflation, everything. No room to breathe. I understand.
How did I deal with the emotional, unavailable man for 8 years? And this is how it went, I guess. I didn't realize how much that marriage was breaking me until I finally walked away, until I finally got the courage to separate. One of the biggest things were my feelings were never received. I would literally pour out my heart, and instead of being met with understanding, instead of sympathy, instead of empathy, instead of comfort, I was looked at like I was crazy, like I was dramatic, like I was delusional or doing too much. And after a while, I stopped expressing myself, not because the marriage got better, but because I realized I wasn't safe being vulnerable. I wasn't safe sharing my feelings. I wasn't safe pouring out my broken heart to the very person who broke it.
And I gotta pause it because I gotta say my one piece. Then I'm gonna let her speak. But this is why men are not choosing marriage in the West. 8 years with an emotionally unavailable man taught me, you know, when ladies, yeah, they went through trauma back in the day. If you want to talk about the old guys and ladies going through trauma back then, and yeah, they couldn't get divorced. They didn't have no fault divorce. That's why we're at in this day and age where we're at now, where you're doing whatever you want to do. Because before no fault divorce, you couldn't just up and leave. You had to work through your problems, and you probably would have worked through them. Of course, there were bad men always, but not all of you were with bad men. I'm sure it's like I explained earlier. These problems can be sorted out. Maybe the man is as hard as ice and needs to be a little softer. That happens with a lot of men. That happens with a lot of us because we don't understand. But let me let her talk.
Someone who is emotionally unavailable does not care when you express your pain. You gotta understand that. They do not care. They do not process it as a connection. They process it as a attack. Every single time I told my husband how what he said or what he did hurt me, instead of apologizing, instead of trying to understand me, he will get defensive. He will feel offended. He will act like I was attacking him just for telling him how his behavior affected me. Anytime he hurt me, there was no genuine apology, no accountability. It was, why you always going through my phone? I wouldn't have did that if you would have shown me some more love, if you had shown me some more attention. Somehow, some way, his betrayal always became my responsibility. And I used to sit there, y'all, questioning myself. Like, am I tripping? Am I the problem? Should I not be expecting more? Should I not have gone through his phone? Even
So here you have it. This is what it is. You know, you went through his phone, you divorced him, but to come on TikTok and give females ammunition, it should be a crime, right? Because you're pushing divorce on females, and there's some ladies who won't have that option. They'll be thinking, he may have done this, he may have done that. We don't know if that's the case with you as well, because right now you're saying it, but I don't see any proof. You could be doing this all for social media. So as of right now, I don't believe you. You need more people. That line is famous for a reason.
The guy who on paper and to the world seems like the funny, just fun-loving guy. But inside, in my house, it's the silent treatment. It's the manipulation. It's the gaslighting. It's the subtle ways that keep you questioning, like, is this really happening or am I making it up? Am I good or is this really like the way things are? But when you bring up a problem with the nice guy, there's deflection, there's, oh, that's not a big deal, you're making a big deal out of nothing. There's ignoring it flat out, like it didn't actually happen and the words did not come out of your mouth. It's subtle. And that subtleness will keep you guessing for a really long time. And it will keep you trapped in an uncomfortable relationship that is only one-sided for a very long time. And the amazing thing is when you start having children, the busyness of life is like, it's really not that bad. There are worse things. You keep moving forward as if like none of this is actually happening. You start gaslighting yourself because to the world, this person still seems like the most sane, beautiful, kind human being. But inside, with the relationship with just you, things are totally different. And then the people around you start gaslighting you because they don't experience the same person that you do. And in my life, I am the only person in my spouse's life that sees him. The only person. He does not have friends. He does not have close family members that know him deeply. He has surface level people in his life. And my family members who were close for a while are also surface level. They didn't want to look deeper. They had already marked me as the problem. So moving through this took a long time. Like I think back on 19 years. I've been married 19 years. I was 23 when I got married. I was I
gotta pause her because I'm tired of seeing these videos where they're pushing on, oh, I was hurt, this, and that. There's two sides to every story. And I have yet to hear that man's side. And that's the same thing that happens with marriage counselors. And what did marriage counselors start saying? Come on, y'all. Y'all already know what marriage counselors always say. Because that's what they're doing to us, a lot of them. She's on the internet just garnering emotions. I got yours. I got yours. I got yours. Give it to me. A lot of them are narcissists, right? A lot of modern women are narcissists. They gather emotions for their advantage. Counselors, marriage counselors will say it all the time. When we're doing exercises to try to fix the marriage, we have the man opens up, tells us everything. We go ask questions to the female. She wants us to turn it back on the man. Always. Almost always. That's a problem. I gotta find a percentage actually. What is the percentage of marriage counselors that can't get the woman to open up like the man in exercises? All right, so yeah, they have no specific study, but The vulnerability gap for women. Peer-reviewed studies consistently shows that women are generally more socially conditioned to process, articulate, and decode complex emotional nuances than men. The heavy lift therapists note that clinical exercises feel like familiar ground to women, whereas men are more likely to view emotional disclosure as a high difficult task. But there are situations where men start to open up and then the woman looks for you to take their side. So, yes, this happens. And it's sad. It's sad, but it's true. And I wish I could have found the video that talks about it, where counselors talking about it, but they do. And it needs to change. But it's not going to change. This is the main reason I decided to go outside of the West to find my wife.
When you're about to do a squat, creep behind you staring, visibly uncomfortable.
You can't make this shit up.
You ain't got no business being uncomfortable because somebody's staring at you when you're dressed like that. You're at the gym, for God's sake. Why is your ass, more than half of your ass, outside for everybody else to see? And then you're gonna say you're uncomfortable because people are looking at the ass that you failed to cover up. Maybe not failing to cover it up, but more so purposely not covering it up. Y'all women, you go out, you seek.
I gotta pause it right there because I'm not gonna let it keep playing. A man can be looking at you scared, or he can be a freakazoid, but still, men are not looking at women on steroids like that. She looks like she took a steroid, took a shot in one butt cheek, took a shot in the other butt cheek, and then started doing butt exercises. And then, because steroids is mother. She said, let me lift the one cheek every couple of hours. And then a butt flex like that. Steroids can do that. She did butt workouts, but no, she's at the gym showing it off. And I bet you if a guy that was looking that she wants, she will flex harder. She will just squeeze the butt harder. Like, stop it. Get some help, ladies. That's dead. This is why men don't talk like that for things like this. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Also, if you're looking to make money online or looking to hire others to work for you, definitely I can help. I've done this for many years. So book your consultation with me today, and I'm definitely willing to help you out. But other than that, guys, be sure to subscribe. You don't have to pay me. You don't even have to book a consultation, but be sure to subscribe so you catch all my content. Peace out. See you next video.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.